Welcome back, it's Nine, and today I got a big video for you guys. We got a God of War update, Horizon Forbidden West update, Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 update, and we got a PS5 update in terms of that expanded memory slot coming into use in the summer. Now, before we get into that, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get notified about all my upcoming videos, and hit the like button. It helps the channel a ton. Now, let's get right into this God of War update, and it comes from DualShockers.com, and it's titled God of War Director Gives His Opinion on Ragnarok's Release Date. So if you guys don't know, God of War Ragnarok is what we're calling it for now. It was officially revealed in September 2020 with a release window of 2021. But we didn't see it at yesterday's State of Play. So Santa Monica Studios creative director Cory Barlog took to Twitter to give a brief statement on the goings-on of the game and when he thought it would release. Even though Barlog didn't actually mention the title in his tweet, it was fairly obvious what he was referencing. Barlog said, "I don't know who needs to hear this," and in brackets, certainly not me since I've never heard of it, "but when it's done," in brackets again, "trust that it's what's best for everyone." And this was a response, at least what we're assuming is a response, to people making comments about not seeing it at the State of Play. Of course, it wasn't promised or anything like that. In fact, Sony hasn't even really talked about God of War on the PS5 since its reveal. And, I mean, there was no reason for us to believe that it would be here. But people are huge fans of this franchise, and they really want to see this. And this is their director saying, hey, we're working on it, you know, and it's going to come out eventually, but we're not going to show you until we know it's complete. And I think that makes sense, and I respect that. I greatly respect that because, you know, they want to give us a complete product. They want to give us something they can be proud about, not a game that's going to evolve over time and eventually become complete. Like, the reason why God of War on a PS4 was such a huge success was because it was such a well-fleshed-out game that really felt complete from beginning to end. And people were excited about it. People enjoyed the gameplay, enjoyed everything about it. And so I think they want to recreate that kind of experience again. They don't want to bring out something too early and then it's lackluster or whatever it may be. And I know we could be saying, well, they could at the very least show us the game, but you know, it is what it is. There are a lot of State of Plays, I'm sure, that are going to happen as the months go by. We know that the summertime, where usually E3 is probably when we're going to get a State of Play as well. So ultimately, I wouldn't be too down about this. I know that there were a lot of mixed reviews on yesterday's State of Play if you weren't a Final Fantasy fan. But on to our next topic, and we're talking Horizon Forbidden West, and this comes from PSU.com, and it's titled Horizon Forbidden West Release Delayed to 2022. So Guerrilla Games' highly anticipated Horizon Forbidden West has been delayed into 2022, according to the same individual who accurately leaked the PC version of Horizon Zero Dawn. So this is a rumor. Replying to a Twitter post regarding the multiple video games that have been pushed to next year, he simply commented, "I would add Horizon to that list top." So here's the thing, right? And obviously, again, this is a rumor, somebody who has been correct in the past. So technically speaking, it gives a little bit of credibility to him. But I would also say this. So we remember that interview with GQ that Jim Ryan had, and he talked about Horizon Forbidden West and talked about it quite a bit. And he said it was on track for release in second half of 2021, and this wasn't long ago. So I feel like unless something massive changed, I don't see why it would have been delayed. So I don't know how I feel about this. This is a rumor at the end of the day. I do feel like if Jim Ryan truly believed that this game was going to be delayed, I don't think he would say it. At least I would hope not, that it is on track and it's ready to come out in second half of 2021. If it is delayed, let's say worst case scenario, it is delayed. It is what it is. I just want the game to be complete. But it also says something about how it looks on PlayStation as well. If, for example, obviously this is an example, I'm not saying this is actually happening. If, for example, Horizon Forbidden West gets pushed into 2022, if God of War gets pushed into 2022, and we have Gran Turismo that got pushed to 2022, it starts to look not so good on them, right? Like, I understand we got a pandemic. I understand it's made production and development a lot more difficult. But, I mean, that is also a thing. People are going to get upset about that. Me personally, I'm not upset about that. There's lots of games to play this year. You know, Horizon being pushed, if it is being pushed to 2022 and God of War gets pushed to 2022, I mean, I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. I'll play them when they're ready. But at the very least, we got Returnal this year. We got Deathloop this year. We got Kena Bridge of Spirits this year. We got Ratchet and Clank being one of the massive ones this year. So there's still a lot to play. But I do really wonder what's going on with Horizon Forbidden West. I mean, I expected we were going to see something at the State of Play. But again, it might get its entirely own State of Play. Ghost of Tsushima got one. Last of Us Part 2 got one. So why wouldn't Horizon Forbidden West? So I'm thinking maybe that's the intention there. But on to our next topic, and this is all about Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. This comes from Gematsu.com, and it's titled Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 to be directed by Part 1 co-director Naoki Hamaguchi. So Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1 co-director will be the sole director on the next part of Final Fantasy VII Remake. Co-director Tetsuya Nomura told Famitsu in a newly published interview. He said, "Today we announced 3 Final Fantasy VII titles, but as I mentioned earlier, I'm personally working on more projects now than ever before," Nomura said. Since we were able to solidify the base gameplay in the first part of the Final Fantasy VII Remake and are able to see what we need to improve upon in the future, Naoki Hamaguchi, co-director on Final Fantasy VII Remake, will be entrusted as the director on the next part. While I'll be involved as the creative director on all things Final Fantasy VII, including the remake and mobile titles, my basic involvement in the work won't significantly change, so please give me your continued support. So here's the thing, right? What I take from this is that 2 things. We got a new director, of course. Nomura is going to be overseeing everything in terms of Final Fantasy VII Remake, the mobile titles, everything. But the biggest thing that I took from this is that the gameplay will not be evolving like drastically. Like, we're not going to see Final Fantasy 13 to Lightning Returns difference. That's not going to happen, which I'm happy about. That is a silver lining here, guys. To hear that the gameplay is just going to be refined and we're going to stick with this amazing formula that they've come up with for the gameplay makes me really, really happy. And so this is exciting news in a lot of ways when you look at it like that. In terms of directors and stuff like that, I'm not sure what kind of impact we're going to see here. I don't know that it's going to be impacted too much. We did the State of Play yesterday. A lot of you guys were there at the stream. I was super excited for the Yuffie DLC. Looks amazing. Yuffie looks amazing. Very happy with it. I saw the First Soldier mobile game. I was kind of laughing at that just because it surprised me to see a Final Fantasy Battle Royale. But then Ever Crisis looked really good as well. So I think there's a lot going on with the Final Fantasy VII universe. I'm definitely interested to see where this goes, but I'm more interested in the main game, right? So with the Yuffie DLC, we're definitely going to take a look at that. But that's our update for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. And on to our last topic, and this comes from Bloomberg. And it is titled Sony to open PlayStation 5 for storage upgrades in the summer. Very interesting, right? Because we've been waiting on this for a while now. So Sony Corp is preparing to open up its PlayStation 5 for internal storage upgrades this summer, lifting a bottleneck that prevents gamers from having more than a few marquee games on their console at one time. People briefed on the plan said. So it will be enabled with a firmware update that also unlocks higher cooling fan speeds to ensure the console doesn't overheat. The people said, asking not to be named because the plans are not yet public. So that's very interesting. It's a temperature situation, right? They want to make sure it's not overheating, and that's why we likely have not got that expansion slot activated yet. So it's going to be interesting once they do unlock this in the summertime to see who goes out and buys an M.2 a drive for their PS5. I know they're very specific types that you can use, and they're quite expensive. I personally have not run into a storage issue. Mind you, I have 2 to 3 games max installed on my PS5 at a time. I don't play that many different games on the go at once. Usually it's one story-driven game, maybe one multiplayer game, and another game I like to jump in and out of. So it's not really, storage is not really an issue for me personally, but I can understand that there are a lot of people out there who like to have 10, 15 games installed on their PS5s, and so they should be allowed to do that. So that's exciting for you who want to buy another drive and expand that storage slot. But that's all I have for you guys in today's video. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. Let me know what you think of this God of War update, what the director at Santa Monica Studios said. Do you think that it's a good thing that they're holding off and they're waiting to get ready for a true reveal? Do you think Horizon Forbidden West is going to be delayed, or do you think Jim Ryan was right in saying that, and being honest and saying that it's coming out second half of 2021? How do you feel about this Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 update with a change in director and also a note on how the gameplay is not going to change drastically? And lastly, are you excited for this storage expansion becoming available in the summer? Will you be expanding the storage on your PS5 if you have one? Let me know in the comments. And as always, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get notified about all my upcoming videos, and hit the like button. It helps the channel a ton. You can follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Links will be in the description. And share this video with a friend. I will talk to you all on the next one. Take care.